Merry Christmas, y'all. It's 5 till 1 a.m. Christmas Day. I'm wide awake. I'm thinking that I shouldn't have had that cup of coffee around 9. So I wanted to talk about something. We all talk about prepping. We all talk about bugging out. We all talk about hundreds of things. I graduated college in May of 2020, and then I went to school from January of 2018 through May. One of the classes I took was called geography. I expected to learn about land masses and stuff, and it was not about land masses. Taught us weather. It taught us migration patterns. It taught us stuff. So to this day, we as people and human beings, Homo sapiens, have traditionally settled around water. You might say, why am I talking about that? Well, if you live in the city and there is no water, you're going to need to have some kind of plan to get yourself from wherever you're at to water. The water needs to be potable, drinkable. If it's not, you need to be able to filter it some way to make it so. You need to boil it, which means you need fire making skills. So, whatever your plan is, you need gear to execute that plan. You might need a pack, you might need a garden cart, you might need uh, cooking stuff over a fire, which means you probably need some kind of grate system or some way to suspend the pot over the fire. You're going to need to learn how to control the fire, as in how hot it is. You're going to need to learn how to hunt, fish. You're going to need to know how to do survival and bushcraft. That's if you're walking, biking, hiking. If you're driving, then you can have a lot of that stuff and capability in your vehicle. You need to practice all of that. So, your plan will dictate your gear. Your gear will get you to water. Most important thing to do if you're not there already. You're going to need boots. Hiking, you're going to need a long gun, preferably with weapons lights and some kind of sighting device, i.e., scope or something, red dot, something. You're going to need a handgun. You're going to need ammo. Your long gun is more than likely going to need a sling. Your handgun should have a weapons light and night sights on, preferably with a laser, and a holster to go with it. Your weapons lights need to be red and white on your long gun. You're going to need a headlamp of some kind, preferably red, because it shows up eyes of critters. And it's not in their light spectrum, so you don't spook them. Except coyotes. Coyotes can see everything. If you can drive, you should have some kind of solar generator and solar panels, cables to go with it. I have a van, and I have most of the supplies for a van shower on hand, which I plan to do sometime in the next 6 months. Fire making skills and tools: flint, ferrocerium rod, big lighters. All right. Yes, I have notes. So if you're hiking, you should either carry with you or be able to cut down relatively quick some kind of long stick. You can use that to gauge how deep the water is before you step off into it. You might be stepping off into a deep ass hole, and if you got all your gear on, you're going to drown. Learn how to use it. You need to learn how to navigate using a compass, stars if you're smart enough, the sun, and the moon, then you need to know east, west, south, and north. Would also be very beneficial to have an actual paper map, one that you can keep dry. So, something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. I am often 25 to 30, sometimes 35 miles away from my house, and when I go hunting, I'm 170 miles. If I'm hunting and shit goes sideways, then about half of my protein preps are gone. Well, 2/3 more than likely. Why do I say that? Because during the summer, the deep freeze would stay cold for about 6 hours. The refrigerator, about the same amount of time. Then after that, pretty much everything inside it's going to go bad. So I think I did a video a long time ago. Solar generators aren't actually generators. They're power storage devices. So basically, somebody took what's called a universal power supply system, UPS, and turned it into a solar generator. So you can get 900-watt UPS system, which is basically a pass-through power device, and you can hook that up to your refrigerator. I'm considering buying one 900-watt UPS for each power or each large appliance I have that's inside a house. I have one deep freeze on the front porch. I can't put anything on the front porch because of the humidity, electronics wise. So 900 watts gives me about 4.5 hours of additional cold time, like straight up cold time. It won't drop. I know this because I tested my solar generators, my EB240s, on both a deep freeze and my largest refrigerator freezer. So that gives me, if I'm 25 miles, 30 miles away, that is minimum 6 to 10 hours of walking. More than likely 12 to 18, because after you do the first 12, you're going to be very fucking tired. I might do like 12 or 15, try to find a place, take a nap and rest, and then get up and go again. But we're talking about a true shift event, grid down, nuclear war. We're talking about the absolute worst. So realize that happens, the criminals are going to know they can do whatever they want. So you could realistically have a purge scenario, the movie Purge, or the multiple movies Purge, where people are just killing people. So you need to avoid people if you can at all possible. So where I'm at, I'm just inside the blast radius of a Sarmat, or the Satan II, whatever that fucking missile is the Russians have. So if they hit this area with that, then I'm toast. If I'm outside the blast zone, then I got to figure out how to get here, if I'm not here already. So everything points to everything getting much worse in 2023. So I'm probably not going to post this video until, not today, obviously, because I don't want to post this kind of shit on Christmas Day. But I want people to start thinking. So your gear, you're going to need a canteen. You're going to need a life straw. You're going to need a gravity filter system. The Sawyer Mini is supposed to be pretty good. I actually bought 2 of those. It's winter time, so you need some kind of coat in your get home bag, preferably a tarp, GP50 cord to string it up. Maybe buy some bungee cords too. I was thinking the other day when I was out doing all the cold prep, and then the very last day I was doing cold prep, the temperature started dropping. I was like, holy camoles. And then yesterday it was awful. And we're only in the 20s at night. So imagine being outside in that shit and not having any heat, let alone being in the house with no heat. So it's very important that you start preparing for everything. being prepared gives you insurance, peace of mind that you may survive. So I can tell you recently I started getting a sore throat and I did a deep gargle with Listerine. Do not swallow that shit. Uh, I got some warm stuff in my throat, as in like I had pizza that night and the sore throat went away. So when you start feeling that come on, do a deep gargle with some kind of antiseptic mouthwash, and it will get a lot of the problem that you have to go away. I think that's about it. There's a lot of stuff to talk about, you know, but I will post this the day or two after Christmas. But I hope all of you had a Merry Christmas. Sorry to be doom and gloomy, but you need to be out in the woods. You need to be out doing stuff, practicing. I may do a video and show you how I gear up for when I go hunting. Basically, just dress up, show you how my rifle is slung, talk to you about the reason for it being slung the way it is. I also have what's called a quick detachment sling, so I had a button I can push on the front and a button I can push on the back, and it comes off. Let me show you some different holsters, so things you need to understand. Anyway, hope you all had a Merry Christmas. Chief Prepper out.